Greetings, Ranger fans. Jake here for another edition of Database Rangers Power Reviews, where we take a look back on the classic episodes of Database Rangers Power Reviews as we count down the 100 weeks to the 100th and final episode of the series. So thank you to everyone for joining tonight. Congratulations, Sean, on having the day off. Welcome, Dino. Welcome, Lex. Welcome, John. Good to see you all. Glad to see that this one happens to be a favorite Dino Thunder episode that we're going to be talking about tonight. So that's always exciting when it's somebody's favorite. And it's hard to believe that, the episode that we're covering tonight was released in honor of the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers, almost a full 8 years ago now, which is just crazy to think of. Oh! Congratulations, Dan. You're engaged? Good for you. Welcome, Josh. Welcome, Jenny. Welcome, Hayden. But, congratulations, Dan. I wish you all the happiness. So as far as updates for this week with regards to Power Review stuff, I did some major filming on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Was it Monday? Monday. That day. One of the days this week. Everything's blend together after a while. But I'm nearly wrapped for one of the main characters of the series. And we're looking to be wrapping up that character in the next week. Got a bunch of stuff filmed for, again, like 95, 97, 98, 99, 100. A bunch of the final episodes we've been making good progress on. And as I announced on Twitter, I did... I got a replacement for the old video camera that allowed me to transfer the hard drive into it, and it was working, and I finally got, 5-year-old footage that's been trapped on the old hard drive for 5 years. I finally got that footage off the hard drive, so that's great because that's footage that's needed for episode 94, and I was trying to determine whether I was going to have to consider that footage a wash or not. So I managed to recover it. I'm working with it now. 94 is in a bit of a weird spot, production-wise, compared to the other episodes. I won't get into the details of why. But I'm still hoping that 94 will be out by the end of August. That is looking very promising. It's really just a matter of me finding the time and putting in the work, which is challenging being summer stay-at-home dad right now. So there's a lot of stuff on my plate keeping me busy. But I am making progress and brainstorming how to take care of the remaining aspects of 94, which are considerable, but fortunately shouldn't be too complex to take care of, without giving any spoilers on that front. But 94 is an episode that has definitely been a long time in the making, and we have some more big reveals coming, and we are going to keep having big reveals coming, as pretty much every episode is going to be having something major going on as we move forward.
You've got audio interference.
I've got audio interference? Yeah. What sort of audio interference I have? I don't know what's causing the audio interference. Double checking. What was that? Yeah, I don't know what would be causing static right now. Strange. Is anyone else getting static? MG just informed me that there's static going on. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. Strange. Okay, Lex, you're getting it too? It's strange. I wonder what's going on there. Um, I don't have anything different going on. Let me adjust positioning on that. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you. Yeah, I don't know why everyone's getting static tonight. Strange. Let's see here. Trying to think if there's anything that can be done to impact to change up the audio. I don't know what the source of that static might be. I'm gonna try something quick. There we go. My bad. How is this by comparison? Sorry. Yeah, I know it'll take me a minute before you guys can pick up on it. But hopefully this might be a little bit better. It's going to be interesting. And you should be able to hear me right now. I realized that I had hit the wrong button for a thing. But you should be able to hear me now. And hopefully hear me better. Maybe. Don't know. Perhaps. Better. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, so I don't know. There was something wrong with the computer's mic. Don't know what was up with that. So I switched it over to the mic on the camera that's pointed at the TV for the episode. So I'll just speak a little louder, since it is not pointed at me right now because it's pointed at the TV, and there's not too much I can do about that. Yeah, I don't know why the audio is different today. It's the same setup that we always use, so I have no explanations on that front. I'm sorry about everybody experiencing static. Hopefully it won't be too much of a problem as we dig into the episode itself. Let's just dive right in with starting, of course, with our 3 equally non-controversial phrases. Number 1, say with me, chat, Black Lives Matter. Number 2, say with me, chat, fascism is bad. And number 3, say with me, chat, superheroes are cool. Superheroes are fun. I flubbed my own phrases. So these should all be considered equally non-controversial, and without any further ado, let us dive into episode 37 of Database Rangers Power Reviews. Our review of Power Rangers Dino Thunder episode 4, Legacy of Power.
Previously on Power Review. The good doctor has modified our camcorder
So,
with a ton of
I tweaked the levels on the audio there, so hopefully it won't create too much problem.
You do not need a co-host. I have a date. I have a publisher.
What?
You do not exist. Database Ranger? I'm an all 2 guys in suits chasing after you with guns.
I've never had Database go to the 2010 MMPR season. We made reference to it in like the first episode, and with a little shiver, and it's like we don't talk about that.
We need to move.
Oh, did I not switch the scene? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I hit one button on my end, but I forgot to hit the other button. Thank you. Sorry.
Fans, and welcome to my panic.
Caught me just in time. Okay.
Forgot the video again.
Yes, I know. I fixed it now. And then this moment right here. That moment where Database is just looking with determination.
They took her.
Who?
Mayo. They took Mayo.
The condiment?
What? No. The woman. The girl. The one who looks like you. They took her.
Who did?
I don't know.
And then
There's this guy. Well, there were two guys.
this is when he
It was
becomes
the same
determined
guy.
to actually engage with the plot.
That's
That
it.
moment.
They were there? You've been following me?
What do you know about them?
Nothing. I don't know.
And Database didn't even realize that he'd made an episode for
They
episode
had me.
28.
They trapped me. They tricked me. But I got away somehow.
How?
I don't know. But Guy was there.
The
Like,
laundry.
he
Well,
basically...
moved out, but yes, it was him.
Database is basically, as we sort of established with 92,
Loading for later.
has
How did
been
they trap you?
They just
conditioned
told me they were a
to
publishing company.
see the world
I
through a
thought he was
specific
my big break.
lens and sort of ignore
He
ignore the weirdness around him. And this is marks the point where he can't ignore it anymore, where he needs to do something. Because that core part of who he is overriding that conditioning. And yes, Mayo is short for mayonnaise.
It is that you do hack into whatever database you have to and get me everything you can from these people. Because whoever they are, I'm going back there. I'm going to bring her back. And if you can help me do that, I will never question you again.
There we go.
Will you? Will you help me do that?
He's decided to
What did they
trust
say
her.
the name of their company was?
A to Z Publishing.
Give me 10 minutes.
But what do I...
Go. Review something.
And
I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Dr. K now has her suspicions.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you point things out.
Greetings, Ranger fans, and
Uh,
welcome to Power Review.
You definitely make a good point there, Scott. It took Power Rangers not that long to get to 500 episodes, and now, like, so much longer as we're still not yet hitting 1,000.
Over 750 episodes aired around the world. Massive toy sales, countless merchandising deals, 2 feature films, and honored through conventions, message boards, fan fiction, fan art, and even quirky little internet shows like mine. This is easily the biggest milestone in the history of the franchise, spanning over 2 seasons and ultimately culminating in
The 20th anniversary was a big deal.
But it's far from the only milestone Power Rangers has seen.
As much of a mess as Megaforce and Super Megaforce ended up being, the 20th anniversary was a big deal. The 25th anniversary, you know, we probably got better stuff in certain regards for the 25th with Dimensions in Danger and most notably Shattered Grid. But this was really like a banner moment for the franchise. And yeah, we now have 3 movies, you're right.
Legacy of
Uh, really, YouTube? Again, with the ad right before the actual episode review part starts. Nice. Yay for Luca. Just gonna skip over that. We good? Thank you. Yep. Are you really gonna
So much
Pixar? Please stop. Maybe. Can I skip the ad, please? Thank you. I can't believe that timing. That this is the second time in a row that it threw an ad in just as it was getting into the actual review part.
We start with introducing our core cast.
So it wasn't MJ's YouTube account. That's just Mayonnaise Jane has been MJ's online handle for
Dino Gems and face off against the sinister Saurian
almost as long, pretty close to as long as I've been Database Ranger. Everybody kind of has their own online handles, whether it's started with Twitter or Instant Messenger or just getting your own email address. And mine has always been Database Ranger.
Are backed up by an arsenal that includes the rarely used Raptor Riders, a host of new dinosaurs from all over the Mesozoic era, and a set of spiffy new civilian powers like super speed, armor, and sonic screams.
Dino Thunder was such a good season.
Not a single mention of the word go.
It feels less innovative in certain regards because we've had Tommy back since then. We've had high school again since then. But at the time, this was the first season where the Rangers were actually in high school since Turbo. It had been a long time. This was our first time seeing Tommy since Turbo. This was our first time having dinosaur powers since Mighty Morphin. Since the first season of Mighty Morphin. Really. But since then, obviously, we've had, we've had Megaforce, we've had Ninja Steel, we've had Dino Charge, we've had we now have Dino Fury. Internet is getting not great.
Also working as a researcher to
Getting a
develop
bit of buffering
experimental
going
dino
on there, which isn't
cyborgs,
great.
coordinating a massive Ranger assault on Earth, and being a naturally skilled professional grade Ranger.
And of course have to address Tommy's ridiculous backstory.
Back at the secret cave base underneath his house.
But yeah, GeoCities was the start of Mayonnaise's Mayonnaise, and GeoCities was also the start of Database Ranger as well. I needed a Yahoo email in order to set up the Power Rangers database Power Archives back in the day.
Ethan starts hacking into Dr. O's computer and finds a lot more than he borrowed.
So Mayo's actually been Mayo longer than I've been DB.
More dinosaur bone stories. Yawn. My history as a Power Ranger. Okay, onion.
I have no idea how someone does that. He dives right into it.
I was trying so hard to figure out how to do an onion.
Introduction in Day of the Dumpster. His own intro as the evil Green Ranger in Green with Evil, and his event.
Remarkably, the first time that I saw Legacy of Power,
Sort of darkness, actually.
I actually, I missed the first few minutes. This was, way back in 2004. And so when I actually
You know what?
went,
Actually, just go watch my Missing Green review if you want the whole story, because I don't feel like going over this again. So they made
when I watched it, I turned on the TV, and I was seeing clips from Green with Evil. I'm like, wait, where's Dino Thunder? This should be Dino Thunder. Why am I seeing Tommy and Kimberly on screen as teenagers? And then I realized it was the clip show.
That we don't. Suddenly, they're blindsided again with another surprise twist. For reference to Ethan, this would be like Ernie walking into the command center and telling Billy that he and Zordon go way back. Turns out that Haley is the true technical genius behind the Dino.
This was a genuinely good twist, I thought.
From her cyber cafe of Tommy's kidnapping. Realizing that they're not
Like, Dino Thunder, one of the things that I feel it doesn't get enough credit for is how heavily serialized the entire almost the entire first half of the series was. Like, everything sort of kept moving forward from episode to episode. There was always some sort of reveal, some sort of new twist. The first actual filler episode, I'd say, would be probably Lost and Found in Translation. And even that is still just an amazing episode.
He fast forwards through Zeo and Jason's return as the Gold Ranger, completely ignoring tiny little details like Tanya.
This was also, one of the first times outside of Forever Red where we really got an acknowledgement of the massive history of the franchise.
And of course, is that cool or what?
Did anyone ship Haley and Tommy? I'm sure that was a thing. Actually, one of the things that was
where Haley picks up the story
really
and explains how they met in
uncomfortable.
college
I remember
over
back
Dino
in
ship.
the days
But
of Dino
obviously,
Thunder.
we have no interest
The
in
one
ever
ship
getting
that
further details on
I've
that
always
story,
always
and Ethan
disapproved
knows
of
they
was
should probably
Hirami.
stop
Hirami
watching
was a
movies
big
and
ship
get
back
back to
then, and I
searching for
don't
their
know
missing
why.
teacher. Turns
Like,
out,
it makes me
Haley has been
uncomfortable
trying
and
to
makes me
access
doubly
Mesogog's
uncomfortable
invisible
now as a
network this
teacher.
whole time. So she invites them
Like,
to
I get
sit back,
it's
relax,
fan
and
fiction,
run through some good
like, it's
old-fashioned
fictional,
Judlin
okay,
DRPR.
it's still
We
just,
relive
like,
the
problematic in
destruction of the power
concept.
chamber, the chase into space, Andros' arrival from out of nowhere. Zane's
It would have been
revival
great to have I will admit, it would have been great to have a crossover with
and-
Linkara.
Yeah, this is about the point where they stop skipping small details and just forget about details entirely.
5 new heroes.
The show obviously has evolved in a very specific direction
Do you
in
need
many
them all to
regards.
talk to you? They quickly run through the premiere and finale of Lost Galaxy and the basic premise of Lightspeed Rescue, along with a shout-out to American-only Titanium Ranger before Time Force catches their eye.
Power Rangers who came from the future?
Couldn't they take us back to the moment when Tommy was kidnapped?
What? So we can watch it happen all over again?
Yeah, Connor's not a...
Whoop, what's happening? I'm getting a lot of buffering
Connor's
on this
not
one,
exactly the
unfortunately.
brightest shade of red. Unfortunately, the video diary appears to be seriously
I get good
lacking in
good
context
snarks in
info,
every now and
so it
again,
looks
even
like they
even
won't
on
be able to
episodes that I
tap the
enjoy.
Time Force. And when Connor suggests they recruit a bunch of veteran rangers to help search for Tommy, Haley shows him some Wild Force footage, and that shuts him up real quick. Oddly enough, Cole is the only ranger here that we don't see unmorphed, despite being the only Wild Force ranger that Tommy has actually met face to face. But it's not like this is a personal video diary of his life, right? During all of this, Haley has been having...
There's definitely a lot of
conversations with Mesogog's
little
father.
oddities whenever they try and recap the entire franchise in any regard. There's always going to be things that kind of get skipped over and not really properly acknowledged that kind of make things sort of fall apart. Yeah, like it skips over Countdown to Destruction, a bunch of other different things like that.
Don't stifle his creativity. It's teachers like that that lead to seasons like Samurai. And speaking of random reappropriation of Japanese culture, Connor
And,
remembers his cameo.
Yeah, I still need to see the second season of Cloak and Dagger. I never got around to seeing the second season of that because we cut cable, but I really do want to check that out.
Taking the time to establish all 6 Rangers and how they defeated Lothor. It's almost as if this would become relevant later in the season. Connor starts demonstrating some amateur ninja kicks.
And
instead
another
of
odd thing
destroying the
when I
server, he
first saw this
somehow manages to
episode
help it
was
bust through
I
Mesogog's
hadn't
firewall
seen
and
Ninja Storm yet.
access his
Ninja Storm was the
invisible
only
network.
season that I
Because
actually
that's how
skipped
computers
and
work.
watched
The
later
final clip plays with Tommy
due
assuring the
to
viewer
various
that the
personal
world will
things.
be safe in the
So
hands
I
of
got
the
spoiled
hero.
on the end of Ninja Storm
Honored and
because of
humbled
this
by
episode.
away from them.
After
Teens prepare
having
to
years
attack
of
and
never
rescue their
having
teacher from the
of almost
collision
never having a
of
season reference a back season
that's the
outside
end
of
the
a
episode.
team up.
So,
So
what did I think of it?
that was pretty fun.
Well, this may seem like faint praise, but it's probably the best clip show that PR has ever done. It's far from perfect, as a number of details are obviously off, and many events are entirely glossed over, but it does act as the most comprehensive history of the series I've ever seen, crammed into 22 minutes. It also avoids many
Yeah,
typical
I
pitfalls.
get that skipping
All of the
Countdown doesn't make
information
sense from a
characters receive.
fandom perspective, considering how pivotal it is for the franchise.
Clips remain focused
Um,
and on topic, instead of getting
but
bogged down with flashy action.
Let's face it, for the most
And
part,
importantly,
when it comes
it
to
feels
seasons
like
that
a
don't
relevant
include
and
Tommy,
necessary episode
they
that
just
furthers
have,
the plot and our understanding of the characters.
who were the five, what was the origin of the 5 Rangers, who's the 6th Ranger, move on.
Mesogog's motivations are shown to be
What's the origin of the 5 Rangers,
complex
who's the
in
6th Ranger,
villains.
move on.
And
They are strapped for time after they get out of the Tommy era, and I can't exactly fault them for that, considering that he is the POV character for that recap
Of
to a
course, there
certain
are
extent.
a few pretty obvious flaws in the premise, like the existence of the clips themselves.
Now, I also subscribe to to the split timeline that places
access to the viewing
that places Lost Galaxy on RPM timeline. But I still find that to be not contradicted by
Plus, it's not like he's the
by
only
this recap
mentor
here.
to utilize a questionably easy-to-access video record of Ranger identities.
I heard that.
Overall, this is an effective and affectionate retrospective. That
And a
is
quick
great
little call out to
its
If
own
Vengeance 1
identity
right there.
And progressing its own story and characters, which is something that can actually be said for much of Dino Thunder as a whole.
That's a good point, Lex.
So,
the Rangers
I
should
guess
know
the
about
last thing I wanna
Countdown
say is
in universe.
Happy birthday, Power Rangers. Thank you for 20 years of memories. They pretty much my only memories, but I am grateful for them.
I like that little acknowledgement that I don't remember anything about my life outside of Power Rangers.
What's coming next? You ready?
Are you?
I've got 20 years of Power Rangers running through my brain right now. What do you think?
I
And
think
this
I'm
is
counting on your obsessive attention
probably
to apply
the
more
first time that
television and pop media.
Database is
There's no
actually
room for error in this.
really
I need to know.
used an episode to prep himself for action.
City records and the footage transmitted by the Selective Quantum Utility electronic eye line and its internal GPS.
Wait, you're saying that the squee...
The Selective Quantum Utility electronic eye line.
Right, whatever. You're saying that it was following me the whole time I was in there?
Indeed.
Does that mean you know how I escaped?
Unfortunately, no.
I also like that I have the little clips from episode 35 all playing in the background there throughout all this on a loop.
Audio are likely to be distorted. Whatever happened before, I wouldn't count on it happening again.
Alright.
First of all, we're going to need to find you a suit and some sunglasses.
Well, I do have a jacket from the last time I made fun of the Nickelodeon studio executives. But I think I know where I can find the rest. Might not fit, though.
That's fine. It may help disguise your build.
And this-
They might be expecting you, and I would rather not make this easy for you.
Were you
And
able to figure out
Dr.
who
K
they
is
I knew the moment you handed me
just
the bag.
restrained.
They have many names and many faces, but there's one you may be familiar with. Database, you're about to walk directly into the heart
Heart of Alphabet Soup.
What?
There we go. Oh, no, not ready for that one. Alright. And there's that big reveal that we are about to go head to head with Alphabet Soup. And I do enjoy so many of the different aspects of that. Oh, when did I make fun of Nickelodeon with the soup jacket? That was in episode, I want to say episode 14, where I do sort of a back and forth joking about, with myself about what was going on in the heads of the Nickelodeon advertising executives. One other nice thing is, as we'll see in the next episode, I do wear the oversized shirt and pants that get borrowed from Mitch. And the sunglasses that I wear are actually the same sunglasses that he had been wearing in episode 36. So, in episode 30, as we move forward into episode 38, we're going to be making, obviously, a lot of back references and using all the different tools that have been built up over time. Many of them hadn't really been intended to be used that way, but then just sort of made sense to acknowledge. Like, why would Database have a jacket? Oh, he used it in a bit that we saw earlier in the year. Where does he get this? Where does he get that? Oh, these are referencing bits from earlier in the year. So, at this point, we've worked up so many different little gags and jokes that we can now use in our toolbox for moving forward into the more action-oriented phase of the show. Any thoughts on Revice reveals? I'm disappointed with regards to what I've heard about the voice actor for Vice. But I do like some of the designs I'm seeing so far. The combination of the two characters into the T-Rex is creative, but looks very strange in practice. But I am interested in seeing more of those animal past Common Rider combos. Those all look interesting. And yes, August 28th this year is a Saturday. So that will be the 28th anniversary of Power Rangers coming up this August 20. On August 28th is the 28th anniversary. So definitely some interesting stuff going on. So this episode is probably one of my most viewed episodes, I think, of all time, largely because Legacy of Power was such a popular episode. And because it has a fairly low point of entry. Like, we have the little bit at the beginning, a little bit at the end, but the majority of the review, much like Linkara's style of doing reviews, the majority of the review is just a review with the story elements just tacked on to the beginning and end. Although his has since evolved to be purely post-credits, which obviously I've gone completely the other direction on that, to which the entire review has become integrated into the story. So this was definitely, while I was still very much in the review kind of has its own separate chunk of the episode stage. And there's definitely something to be said for that style, because you do have it means that the review has a little bit of a cleaner flow to it, and it's not getting chopped up and interrupted with other things going on. But I very much do like experimenting with creating those juxtapositions between the two stories. And you'll still be seeing plenty of that. Obviously, we have had some very story-driven episodes recently. Episode 92 probably being the one most in this format of beginning and review in the middle, where 93 was very much sprinkled and cutting back and forth between different things. 94 is going to be it's going to be interesting. I'll put it that way. It was definitely something that I put together, not real that I conceived of, not really expecting all the things that have happened over the course of the last 5 years. I can't get into too many more details on that. But I can promise major important reveals are coming up in 94, 95, big developments going on as we get into the end game of the series. The breather, if there could be said to have been any sort of breather period, the breather period's pretty much ending. And yes, I feel like Contest of Champions is been working to give year 3 of Power Reviews a run for its money in terms of long-running storylines. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to reach the end. Just because obviously it was conceived of as a 3-year series and is closing in on its 10-year mark. And I definitely have some ideas for other projects I'd like to do. But I am also debating whether or not to retire from certain elements of video. Basically, I am heavily considering retiring from scripted reviews after I finally reach the end of Power Reviews. Just because it will have been 10 years of scripted video, of doing scripted video reviews, even though, several years in the middle were we had 6 years of live reactions in the middle of that, while also doing Power Reviews. Now, how do I determine how long the episodes are? It's largely just a matter of what feels right. If I feel like something's running long, then I try to be a little bit quicker, but since I'm not working off of the same sort of parameters as a regular TV show, I just go with whatever the cut comes out to in editing. Which back then was coming out regularly around the 16-minute mark, but now tends to come out pretty regularly around like the 23-minute mark, unless there's sort of a major conversation between characters that just takes up a big chunk of exposition in the episode, like we saw at the end of 92, which made that one a whole lot longer than I was expecting. Not by much, by like a few minutes, but still. So yeah, it'll be interesting seeing what we'll be finding out with regards to the whole Power Month in August. With August starting next week, so who knows? Maybe I'll have some big news to talk about with regards to the world of Power Rangers next week as we kick off Power Month. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I'm looking forward for you to see what happens next with Power Reviews. I do think that the next episode is going to be one that is appropriate for it being the anniversary month for Power Rangers. And I do think that the next couple episodes are going to be appropriate for... I'm expecting 95 to be probably an October release, and I think that it's going to be appropriate for an October release. I think that we'll be ending the year with 96 on a good sort of conclusive / cliffhangery note as we transition into the end game of the series. And then it's just going to be those final 4 episodes next year to just sort of wrap things up. And I'm still working on getting caught up on the comics because I want to have as much of a feel for what they're doing with the continuity and see how well I can reconcile it with my own. There are certain elements I'm still working on with that. And yes, I did see the news that there is a Super Sentai themed restaurant in Japan now, from according to Kotaku. So I'll continue having more news as we work towards finishing filming for the supporting cast across the course of this summer. And as I work on finishing up episode 94 across the course of this next month. So that's feeling like so much. This summer's been going by so fast. I hope to do right by you guys with all that. But for now, let's close things out with our 3 remaining equally non-controversial phrases. Number 1, say it with me, chat. Love is love. Number 2, say it with me, chat. Trans rights are human rights. And number 3, say it with me, chat. Robots are cool. And with that, I look forward to seeing all of you again next week. And until then, farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you.